I think maybe, Tim, maybe it's the things that you guys thought should have happened day one, is that they should be successful right off the bat.
Imagine the life of a basketball star, full of scandals, fights, and lawsuits. How did Jason Kidd, an NBA legend, overcome all the controversies both on and off the court? From winning championships to courtroom drama, the story of Kidd is anything but simple. The waters are all muddy, so here we are to swim through some. Jason Kidd was born on March 23, 1973. His talent was evident from a very young age. Raised in Oakland, he shone brightly, gaining multiple All-Star and MVP awards in youth leagues. At St. Joseph Notre Dame High School, Kidd led his team to successive state championships, raking in impressive stats along the way. He was the all-time assist leader in high school basketball. Staying close to home, Kidd chose the University of California, Berkeley, a program recently struggling. His decision paid off, revitalizing the team and building his legendary career. In 1994, he was drafted second overall by the Dallas Mavericks and immediately established himself, sharing Rookie of the Year honors with Grant Hill. He played for the Phoenix Suns, New Jersey Nets, and again for the Mavericks before he won an NBA championship in 2011. Kidd also earned 2 Olympic gold medals in 2000 and 2008. At this point, his journey seemed like a fairy tale, but things off the court were not quite so perfect. Kidd married Jumana in 1997. It seemed to be the beginning of a fairy tale, but things took a drastic turn in January 2001. Kidd was arrested and charged with domestic abuse, subsequently pleading guilty to charges of assaulting Jumana. The star player in the middle of such a scandal was hard to believe. Things are about to get even juicier. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. On that note, let's get back to the story.
Now basketball is secondary, and my wife and my family, we've made, we've agreed that, basketball, that I will return to play basketball, but, right now is not, time to, play basketball, and my teammates understand that.
As part of his plea deal, Kidd was sentenced to 6 months of anger management classes. But here's the kicker. Kidd didn't just do the time. He completed his court-ordered counseling and then volunteered to continue. What motivated him to keep going? Was it personal change or something else? Anyway, it didn't work. Fast forward a decade later, New Jersey Nets superstar Jason Kidd, a household name, filed for divorce from his wife of 10 years, Jumana Kidd. But this was not your everyday divorce. Kidd described Jumana as cruel throughout their marriage. What drove him to this breaking point? Papers filed in Bergen County tell a different story, with Kidd painting a grim picture of Jumana as physically and mentally abusive. She had threatened to make false domestic violence complaints and even interfered with his relationship with their children. The defendant's extreme and unwarranted jealousy and rage has left the plaintiff concerned about her emotional stability. It stated. How did it get to this point? The drama escalated when Kidd filed a domestic violence complaint and sought a temporary restraining order. His attorney, Madeline Marzano-Lesnevich, called for privacy, but the details were already spilling out. Jumana was claimed to be a jealous and paranoid wife who had fits in public. According to published reports, she allegedly used their 8-year-old son at a recent Nets game to help her slip into the locker room and rummage through Kidd's locker, later yelling insults from the front row. Can you imagine the tension in that arena? But it doesn't stop here. Jumana allegedly kicked, hit, and threw household objects at Kidd. She also installed tracking devices on his cars and computers. Their history of domestic violence dates back to 2001 when Kidd himself was arrested for striking Jumana. Despite all these incidents, Kidd did not ask for sole custody of the children, but for shared custody. What was the reason behind this? Trying to avoid further litigation, or something more? Something was bound to happen with his professional life, though. Remember the 3 J's in Dallas? Jason Kidd, Jamal Mashburn, and Jim Jackson were supposed to rebuild the Mavericks. Instead, Kidd and Jackson feuded, supposedly over singer Toni Braxton. Both denied that. Kidd demanded a trade, which resulted in his move to the Suns and Jackson leaving shortly afterward. Could this have been avoided? It was said that Braxton one night visited the Mavericks hotel to pick up Kidd, but went away with Jackson instead. That fed the media frenzy, and though the players denied it, according to Scandal, the damage was done. Kidd requested a trade, which was granted, but the ghost of that feud lived on. What really happened that night? Was it all a misunderstanding, or was there more to the story? His issues were still not over. Kidd was suspended for the first 2 games of the regular season, for which the former Celtics assistant agreed, while pleading guilty to driving while impaired in his first year as a coach for the Brooklyn Nets. His Cadillac SUV blew into a utility pole off Roberts Lane, and he had to complete his community service. What caused this misfortune? The details are staggering. Kidd was returning from a charity event in the Hamptons at the time of the accident. According to the police report, Kidd was unsteady on his feet, smelled of alcohol, and had bloodshot and glassy eyes. The consequences were very hard, not just legally, but for his reputation.
Taking a drink and whoa.
And who can forget Sodagate? With 8.3 seconds remaining in a game against the Lakers with no timeouts left, Kidd seemingly orchestrated a collision with player Tyshawn Taylor to spill a cup of soda to stop the game and draw up a last-second play. Was it slick or an embarrassing mishap? Kidd said he had tripped by accident, but video replays told otherwise. "Hit me," Kidd appeared to say, and Taylor did so, which caused the soda spill. Was this a clever strategy or an act of desperation? Then there was the infamous fallout with assistant coach Lawrence Frank. Kidd reportedly went off on an expletive-filled rant that ended with Frank being reassigned to a reduced role. "Sit the expletive down. I'm the coach of this 13-letter word team," Kidd reportedly screamed. What was this 13-letter word, and what led to such a heated confrontation? Frank had been brought in on a lucrative contract to be Kidd's mentor and defensive coordinator. But things got heated quickly, and soon enough Frank was told to dial it down on the bench. There were reports of mysterious illnesses and backroom confrontations. The culmination, Frank was benched. How did this scientific bromance blow up so spectacularly? But Jason Kidd fighting the bottle, eh? The peace of a peaceful Sunday in Watermill, New York, was violently disrupted in the early hours. The New York Knicks point guard Jason Kidd was arrested and subsequently charged with a Class A misdemeanor for driving while intoxicated. According to the Southampton Town Police, about 2 a.m. this morning, Kidd's 2010 Cadillac Escalade wandered off the road and struck a telephone pole before continuing into the woods. Can you picture it? The quiet residential community all of a sudden disrupted by the chaos of a crash. Kidd, 39 at the time, was reportedly treated for minor injuries at Southampton Hospital. But his night wasn't through. He was also taken to headquarters, processed, then held for arraignment before being released on his own recognizance. What a night! Jason was involved in a single-vehicle accident on his way back home from a charity function last night, said his attorney, Ed Burke Jr., in a statement. He suffered minor injuries and was treated and released from a local hospital. Jason has pleaded not guilty to a DWI charge and awaits further court proceedings. Oh, the drama! Will Kidd's plea hold up in court? And did he take a breathalyzer test? The police remained tight-lipped. Kidd couldn't have had it any worse. Only a week earlier, the Knicks had signed him in free agency, promising him around $3 million a year. Kidd was also supposed to mentor young point guard Jeremy Lin if the Knicks decided to keep him. What would this arrest do for his new beginning with the Knicks? This wasn't Kidd's first run-in with the law. Back in 2001, while playing for Phoenix, he was arrested on a domestic violence charge after acknowledging he struck his former wife. Now, facing a potential year in jail for the DWI, Kidd's legal troubles threaten to overshadow his impressive NBA career. Through all such personal and professional wars, there has been little denial about Jason Kidd's resilience on the court and sidelines, however. He rode out the wave with the Brooklyn Nets for a year before becoming the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, and later moving on to become an assistant coach with the Los Angeles Lakers, earning them their second championship in 2020. It wasn't until 2021 that Kidd would return to the Dallas Mavericks to be their head coach, where he would go on to take them to the Western Conference Finals during his first season and into the NBA Finals by 2024. Like his playing days, his coaching career is marked by highs, lows, and an enormously relentless pursuit of excellence. Kidd retired with 107 regular season triple-doubles, which ranked third all-time upon his retirement, and he is second in both career assists and steals, a legacy for sure that certainly stamps Jason Kidd as one of the greatest point guards ever. And he is still leaving a mark on the game to this day. But his story off the court shows that even the best athletes have personal troubles and controversies. That's it for this one. If you happen to like NBA icon stories, make sure to check our video on Magic Johnson's controversies. You'll love it.